Oh my God, Nick was like, Xylie. And this was so sweet. Bless his heart. Nick was like, Xylie. He goes, I'm going to tell you something. And I don't want you to think I'm putting it down or anything. But, I'm just trying to help you. I was like, okay. He goes, y'all got to change the name of that podcast. He goes, I cannot find your channel. I was like, sir, type it in 3 words with spaces in between. The Broad and Cast. He goes, okay. And he's in the Discord and he's live, he's like, showing us, like sharing a screen. And he typed it in, The Broadcast, and then boom, there it was.
Yeah, straight away. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. I've had no issues trying to find it. Like you have to actually write it how it is.
And he was like, huh.
That'll do.
But okay, to be fair though, I do understand, because when you hear broadcast, you automatically want to put broadcast together in one word.
Yeah, one word.
Yeah. So I get it. But it was funny. The way he said it, I was like, and I was thinking he was going to talk about my channel for a second. I'm like, what? I'm doing good. What? I'm thinking to myself, what? And he was like, you got to change the name of that podcast.
Hi, hello, and welcome back to the broadcast. My name is Eva, and with me, as always, we have Xylie Star.
Hello.
And Miss SumBunniLuvsU.
Hello.
All right, and today we are getting back into the whole Whittakers saga. If you've been with us for the last couple, you're up to date. If you're not, go back and watch it before this one, because there's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff.
We found out in the last one a lot of things that we didn't realize was going on, and we weren't even putting our finger on it until they came up. We were like, oh, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now we are going to get into Tyler Oliveira. So who made this video again?
Atozy.
Atozy.
Yes,
Nice.
this is an Atozy video. Yep.
So yeah, nice. So we've got Atozy doing the video investigating Tyler Oliveira and the Whittakers.
Can I say something before we start the video?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we know what Miss VJ was doing with the money, right? All right,
Yes,
and I'm trying to not say it out loud because apparently YouTube likes to give yellow dollar signs. Anyway, I'm being shady, I know. But I don't think all that. Remember in the first video they were talking about, because in Tyler's video, well, the Oompaville video about Tyler, they were talking about casinos.
Right, yeah. And I was wondering throughout the whole thing when they were going to circle back to that. And they never did. It was like a lingering question just left there going, are they going to the casino? Are they gambling?
Well, because I don't think there's any way, and obviously she didn't get all the money, and the grandson didn't get all the money,
Yeah.
What did they spend that money on besides that TV?
Yeah, there's no way 150 grand went into what. So yeah, we know they got the truck. I guess that was a pretty new looking truck, but that's nowhere up near that dollar amount. That's for sure.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
It would make sense if they were going to the casino with how they describe. I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. I would be so mad if I was Mark. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Really, y'all ready to get started on the video? Oh, the video is called Investigating Tyler
Oliveira.
Thank you.
That's too much. Too many letters.
Way too much for me. And the Whittakers. So here we go.
Nice.
I'm suspicious of what's going on here, and admittedly and regretfully, and this is my apology to Mark, it was accusatory, and we could have gotten the same information without questioning his honor and just wording everything like we did. We could have clarified with the email. If he didn't respond, you know, that would have been our answer, and if he did respond, there would have been our answer.
Oh boy. Okay, it's safe to say a lot happened.
Okay, alrighty then.
Oh.
We're starting off hot. Okay.
Okay, yeah, admitting fault is the first step, I guess.
You know
Jeez.
what? You know what? And if that's what because you don't know if it's cut out just for the beginning, right? But if he actually, because at the same time, I understand Tyler's questions in his video. Even after everything we learned, I understand his questions on the video because he didn't know they were taking the money. Look what Betty told him.
Yeah, exactly. That he can only go by
Yeah.
what he's being told.
Exactly. So, you know, but I understand Mark coming in and going, here are the receipts. And I don't blame him.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
True.
Happened for us to get here. So let's quickly start from the beginning. So Soft White Underbelly is a channel ran by a guy named Mark. He has a viral YouTube series on an inbred family from West Virginia known as the Whittakers. And it's safe to say the Whittakers have never really lived in the best conditions, and that's putting it extremely lightly. So Mark gave the Whittakers roughly $153,000 over the span of a year. A majority of this money was donated by Mark's YouTube viewers via several GoFundMes with the intent to improve the Whittakers' lives and improve their home / buy them a new home. Mark
Okay, I just want to put it out there. I have him on 1.25 and he sounds like he's at 1.5.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Oh my God.
He's a fast speaker.
He's
that's
a
for sure.
fast speaker. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit.
Yeah, and sorry to everybody watching this on 1.25. So
Yeah, good luck. I have the closed
luck.
I have the closed captions on for you now.
there
All
you
right.
go. Yeah.
gave the money to Betty in increments over time. But as we recently found out, the daughter of Larry, BJ, and her son, Brandon, somehow obtained this money from Betty and allegedly spent a large chunk on it on various substances. The whole situation is just incredibly depressing. Tyler, who I'm talking to today, did an investigation series on one of the poorest regions in America, the West Virginian part of the Appalachian Mountains. In the last quarter of his video, he introduced the Whittaker family and Mark from Soft White Underbelly. He first tried to get in contact with the Whittakers through Mark, but was denied because they had an alleged exclusive media contract with the family. Not wanting to give up, Tyler got in contact with someone else close to the family and managed to visit and bring some household essentials.
You know, I find it funny that Mark, okay, I still find it weird that Mark said he made that up, but then BJ, she said it was her and her dad, which honestly, they seem like the only ones that could sign a contract like that. That BJ and her dad signed it.
Yeah, that is still really weird. I wish somebody would clear that up.
Yeah, but, you know, honestly, when it boils down to it, listen, here's my thing. Well, okay. If they were the only ones that could sign the contract, now, maybe that's why he didn't do it. Because I was like, if they were the only ones that you felt were stable-minded that could sign the contract, then why were you giving the money to Betty? If she couldn't even sign the contract.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I don't
Kind
know.
of makes me wonder if there was a contract after the fact.
No, because BJ, when she sat on that porch, she said that's why if we were here, that would have never happened.
Oh, yeah.
So apparently they weren't around when Tyler went to that house, because if they were around, she said that would have never happened because me and my dad signed those contracts, nobody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Tyler then showed the amount of money Mark raised for a new house for the Whittakers, then showed the world how the Whittakers are still living. After leaving the Whittakers' place, Tyler then seemed frustrated with the situation and called out Mark's honor, made his own GoFundMe, and donated 10 grand of his own money to put towards a house or living arrangements for the Whittakers. Mark then saw this video and went on the offense against Tyler. He was definitely upset that Tyler framed his video like Mark didn't give the Whittakers the money. Mark then showed the receipts that he did in fact send the money to Betty, but admitted that he lied to Tyler about an exclusive media contract. The big
Okay, so admitted that he lied about the exclusive media contract. But people still signed it though, which I will say this.
Yeah,
at least
it
he
ended up
didn't force.
existing.
Well, at least he didn't force the other ones to sign it, because there is no way in good faith they would be able to sign something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so at least there's some sort of common sense going on there.
Imagine how cursive their signatures would have been.
Oh.
big revelation with this video is that Mark confirmed what Betty said is true and showed the money was apparently gone, as the Whittakers allegedly had no idea where the money was.
Well, we got more money in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Tyler then made a follow-up video to Mark's response, which is now deleted, while he was sitting on the toilet with Skyrim NPC music in the background. Here he kind of kept the same tone as his original video and
That video. I knew it.
That was ridiculous.
And as a person who plays Elder Scrolls, I was like, what? Skyrim music? Really? Really?
I didn't know it was now deleted though.
I didn't know that either. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Honestly, that video didn't do him too many favors. The most recent update in the Whittaker family is one of the daughters, BJ, told Mark that her father Larry passed away and asked Mark for money for the funeral. So Mark jumped on a plane and showed up for the funeral. And unfortunately for the Whittakers, he uncovered the truth. The dad was alive and well. There was no funeral. And just like in Tyler's video, there was no trace of the $150,000 that Mark sent to them. So Mark confronted Betty about the money.
I'm just starting to wonder about the whole gang here. Everybody.
I ain't getting into it.
What's that?
I ain't getting into it.
You're not getting into it.
31,000 to it.
I think when money gets involved, things get fishy around here.
Huh?
I think when money gets involved, things get crazy.
Yeah.
Give it 25,700. Actual price 25,860.
But like, that was a lot of money that you guys got. Did any of that help you, or did it all go up in smoke?
No, it didn't help me.
It didn't help you.
That was the biggest shock of his video. Mark sent her over $150,000 and apparently it didn't help her. The other revelation was that BJ talked about actually having some sort of contract with Mark after all. Meanwhile, tied
Thank you. Okay, he picked up on it. Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Come on, Atozy. I know you good. I know you good.
Yes.
up in the middle of this chaos, Ray, Timmy, and Lorraine, they're just not there enough to understand what's actually going on, and they suffer as a result. So I reached out to both Mark and Tyler to see if any of them wanted to come onto my channel and go a little bit more into detail on what happened and what's going to happen moving forward. And both of them actually responded very quickly, but Tyler was the only one who wanted to come onto the channel. So here's my conversation with Tyler first. Thank you, Tyler, for coming on and doing this.
Thank you for having me, man.
No worries. So just so we're on the same page with everything, I'm going to kind of go through like the TLDR of the situation. Soft White Underbelly is a channel run by a guy named Mark.
I list everything said in the beginning of the video. Okay.
And he gave the Whittakers...
I want to say that was a very succinct summary of a lot of super complicated details and lengthy videos over the last 4 weeks. So I think that's all pretty accurate. There's definitely a few things I probably want to add to and clarify, though, if I can. I want to set the stage a little bit for why we went there, what we do as a channel, and how this all kind of played out. I mean, the premise of what we do on the channel is go to places, ask people questions. We wanted to make a video about West Virginia, and I know about the Whittakers just as anyone else knows about the Whittakers from Mark's videos. He apparently discovered them 20 years ago or something, far ago, took a photo of them, came this thing, and he has all these videos, and I'm intrigued about them just as much as anyone else. So I reach my producer at the time, who is also named Tyler, no joke, reaches out to them, and we ask for the phone number to come down and visit. We get that exclusivity contract you mentioned. His assistant named Noel says, we have an exclusivity contract. Thank you for asking us. We appreciate
And that's the email that we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you considering us, but basically you can't film with them. So I want to establish just off the bat here, I have no beef with Mark. There's not some long-standing multi-channel history with multiple videos of us poking at him. But I definitely want to be honest and say from the get-go, that raised my suspicion radar of what's going on here a little bit. It's pretty atypical to hear of something like that, unless you're like a Hollywood actor and also...
Well, we thought the same thing. We were like,
Yeah.
how do they have a contract like that? Look at them. They can't sign a contract like that. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
It was a little bit sus, to be honest.
It was. It
to
was
that.
very
Yeah.
sus. Yeah. So I don't blame him for going, wait a minute now.
And Mark would be better off just telling people, because he said he does that because so many people email him to get in contact with them. Why wouldn't you just tell them they don't want me giving their information out? Doesn't that just seem less suspicious to
Either
say?
that or no. No, I'm not going to.
Yeah, just say no.
No. Yeah, plain and simple. Really easy email. They ask you for all the information. You send back 2 letters. N-O.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go. Fixed.
Yeah, I don't know why he did it the way he did. That did make it look suspicious when there was
Yeah.
a very easy way to just say no.
Yeah.
seem like something they could, consent to. Or,
Yeah, consent or sign. Yeah. They would need a guardian to sign for that, almost.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess in my head, it immediately brought some questions to mind. What's going on here? Just like Mark did originally. I said, why don't we just go down there ourselves, say what's up? We found someone who built a relationship with them, checks in with them daily. We offered, hey, we're just going to go.
And I feel sorry for that lady, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been spending her own money buying them groceries and checking up on them, and they got $153,000 within
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. Mark should have been sending her some of that money to get groceries, like you
Bro.
said earlier.
Maybe that's
why,
what-
Why didn't he?
Maybe that's what
I
he
didn't-
needs to do.
I don't know. I'm kind of like side-eyeing that whole situation as well, because finding out that that she found out about them from their videos and then was just like trying to sort of wean away.
I thought that same thing. It did feel a little weird once she found out, and I think she popped up in the comments.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm still a little bit iffy about that whole situation.
Yeah.
Bring some groceries down, say what's up. Cool. She gives the information for the family. We meet up with the family. When we end up in West Virginia, I have no clue what's going on besides that email. And for all I know, because I think there was a month or two gap, there was no Whittaker update video on Mark's end. There's enough time to, like, there could be a house there when I showed up that's brand new, for all I know. We show up, they're still living in the same piece of crap house, basically. You wouldn't want your grandparents living there. So my question is, I get this email that says, hey, you can't speak to these people or film with them. And I know about these GoFundMes, yet the house situation is the exact same. So there's some disconnect there. So we drop off the groceries. We basically do what is a wellness check, because there's also these videos on the internet at the time that are saying Betty's dead, Ray's dead. There's some channel like spamming fake news of like the family members dying every month, according to this channel.
What in the world?
What?
What in
That's
the
crazy.
world?
That has got to be clickbait.
Well, yeah, obviously.
4 minutes long and be like, yeah, Betty's dead.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's also the middle of winter right now. West Virginia's, in snow. It's kind of up a windy road. It's a bit remote. These are old people we're talking about. The story takes a little twist, but we show up there. They're all alive. The house is in as much disrepair as it was previously. And I asked them, what's going on with the money? This is what she says.
How's the house coming along?
What house?
I
don't know what house. We have to more about the house.
What did Mark say about the house? Paige wants to get an update.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think he's...
More time we ain't got no more money in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, no, it's yours.
She knows. She knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the way he said Paige wants an update, it kind of seems like she was suspicious too and was pushing Tyler to ask about it. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
From my understanding, there's like, I don't know, $50,000 or $60,000 in there. Has Mark given you guys an update?
No.
Okay.
No. Mark's been giving him money the whole time. That's what. Yeah. I guess so. Ugh.
When's the last time you guys have talked to Mark?
I talked to Mark the other day.
The other day? Okay.
Okay, cool. Glad you guys are alive. Here's the groceries. I learned that about the GoFundMe. We dip, and I basically leave with a bunch of questions of what's going on here.
How long were you there, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably literally less than 30, 40 minutes,
Okay.
if that's relevant.
Did you meet anyone else than what was shown in your video, or was it just the main group? Because you didn't meet BJ and them, right?
No, we didn't meet BJ. We didn't meet Larry. We didn't meet any of the grandchildren that are mentioned, or the children, BJ. We met everyone shown in the video. So literally just like, it's not like we showed up in content farmed. Like, we didn't show up and film for 10 hours or make 20 videos. It's like 7 minutes of however long the 30-minute video. It's not even a focus piece on this family. We're in West Virginia. We're on this road trip. At the end of the southwest corner of West Virginia is odd. I thought it'd be interesting to see what's going on there. We showed up. We spend 30 or 40 minutes there. We learn these things. We drop off the groceries. I fulfill some, curiosity of, I've seen this family on YouTube. They're like an international sensation. And I'm also just genuinely curious after getting that email of, is there something going on here?
At this point, I don't see him doing anything wrong.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Because he didn't know. I mean, you can't listen. I understand if he knew everything and he did that, that would be one thing. But you can't blame somebody if they didn't know.
Yeah,
Right.
he's working with limited information. And he's just
Exactly.
got questions. What's wrong with that?
Exactly.
It's one of these situations where, like, it smells like shit, it looks like shit, it feels like shit, but it turns out it was like chocolate pudding or something in between, because things get a little more complicated. I see this, we put out the video, and at the end of it, I gotta admit and owe Mark an apology here, because I'm highly passive aggressive with my word choice, how I say this.
Yeah.
There's definitely some confusion, and I definitely think something shady's going on here, whether or not I say that directly. The tone and how I said it was accusatory, and for that I do apologize to Mark. And I do think we could have learned all that we've learned by going to them saying, hey, Mark, we heard this back from the family. We stopped by for a visit. Would you like to add or clarify what's going on here with the money? He probably could have presented that same information, and then we would have learned where the money actually went.
Okay, accountability
Yeah.
king. Accountability king.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have actually done that because of the fact of that there was some sort of contract, right? So I think
Yeah,
that
you're-
would have made me not reach out to Mark, because he would have been like, "What? You've breached this contract. They've breached this contract. What are you doing?"
Yeah, because as far as he knew, Mark was saying, don't go, I'm not giving their information out. So yeah, he might have out of spite not responded after that, just because he did go and meet with them.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still an option that he had. And that he
Yeah,
coulda
yeah, it was
took,
good that he
so,
recognized that.
Yeah.
Now, like that would have been a better option. I don't dislike this guy.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
his heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
So I regret not doing that. And I think part of the reason we didn't do that is because I didn't think there was a communication line there realistically. In my head, the idea of him saying there's an exclusive contract, we go there, we film with them, and then ask for like an itemized financial breakdown just doesn't seem like a realistic outcome that they would respond to.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Okay,
There you
that's
go.
what Eva said.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was
That
like,
does
yay.
make sense.
So I guess we forced his hand to respond in some capacity. Basically, I get this email. There's questions raised in my head. I'm curious. We're making this video in West Virginia. He's not the only person that knows them, but there's very few people that have known the family and that have publicly had any record of interacting with the family. I find Paige. She connects us with the family. We show up, drop off the groceries. We learn this. Video goes out. I'm suspicious of what's going on here, and admittedly and regretfully, and this is my apology to Mark. It was accusatory, and we could have gotten the same information without questioning his honor and just wording everything like we did. We could have clarified with the email, and if he didn't respond, that would have been our answer. And if he did respond, there would have been our answer, right? We could have given him, in hindsight, if I was in his position, I would have appreciated if someone like you are doing with me right now, following up and saying, hey, can we get your statement on this? Like, I have to be realistic. That's obviously how I would have wanted this to go down if I were him. So I understand the frustration on his end.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But after that, a lot of things come to light and we learn a lot. So Mark responds with this video.
Firstly, it seemed like Mark was like kind of hurt by how you framed your video. He was first kind of like showing like, guys, I did not scam them. Here is all of the receipts that I actually sent them this money.
This brings up a good point. And this is something I'd like to clarify, is that I definitely get where he's coming from. And I agree. If I were in his position, I would have wished that someone would have sent me an email. Where I think it's a little bit tough for the viewer and myself is that there are tons of people in the comment section previous to me making that video asking what happened to the GoFundMe, where's the house. There's also smaller channels that have brought this up. And then it seems like the channel of my size is what it took to get that response out of him. From my perspective at the time, there's not a friendly communication line here. I think there's some level of, they don't want us to film there. Stay away. So it's like, hey, can you give us an itemized financial breakdown ASAP before we put out our weekly video? It doesn't seem super realistic, but maybe he would have, because within, I don't know, like 12 hours, there's a response video where he shows the bank statements, and it's basically thousands of dollars every 2 to 4 weeks he's wiring to Betty Whittaker. And this makes
Well,
it
it would have made you look like
Craziness. When he pulled out those receipts, I was like, oh my God.
And it wasn't
Yeah.
even like 3 to 4 weeks, every 3 to 4 weeks. It was literally like it was, what did we say? It was like 4 transactions within a month. So it was almost weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In various amounts, like anywhere from a couple of hundred to a couple of thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah.
true.
They were getting regular money.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
It is-
one time every 2 months or anything like that.
Yeah. It is really strange though that, like he said, there was people all in his comments asking for a breakdown. Why did he never want to give it if it was that common of a comment?
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Tyler hit it on the head. I think it was a channel Tyler size that made him do it.
Right.
Yeah, that just it still makes me feel kind of suspicious about it that that's what it took when there were people that were probably donating asking.
Because I think it hit him going, oh shit, I can get canceled off of this.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get canceled because my YouTube channel's doing so good. So now I have to say something. I don't care with what the people in the comment section say. I don't care what these smaller channels say. But now there's a big channel saying something.
That's real suspicious to me, though. I'm looking at them weird just for that. Because those people in the comments were probably the people that were donating.
Probably.
And they deserve to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one way or another, he basically did force his hand to get some information out of him.
Yeah. Yep.
a lot better if you at least showed an email that you made an attempt to reach out for some sort of response on it.
That's
I feel like that's a big thing you should have done differently in hindsight.
Oh, 100%. I agree. I think that's our takeaway here. It's like, just in hindsight, it's one of these tough things where it just doesn't seem like there's a friendly
Yeah, no, I see. Well, I mean, like, I understand he kind of shut you down previously already.
Yeah, I feel like I got the shutdown, like, get away, kid.
Yeah.
Get away, boy. He obviously thinks, like, I would have responded. But, you know, the reality is there's some public pressure. Our video put a bunch of eyeballs on the situation, and he felt the need to respond, and he did. And he showed the receipts of the money.
And there's, like, no question that, like, no one has helped this family out like Mark has. Like, Mark has clearly done more for this family than, like, anyone else, it seems like. Although the money seems to have been misappropriated. Like, if he's raising money for a house, that should be going to a house. And then I'm also kind of...
That's what Bunny kept saying. Bunny was like, what?
That's what I just don't understand. That's just the most irresponsible thing to... I feel like anybody that has their hands on that kind of money should have the wherewithal to know. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shocked that it took 150 grand to find out, the money's not going to anything productive here.
Oh, I mean, there's levels to this conversation, but we have to be realistic a little bit here too, right? I mean, part of the core points too of what I brought up in the original video was there's, I think, 14 videos at the time, a cumulative total of like 89 million views on YouTube. These are soft monetized videos. Like, there's a lot of money to be made. You know, the family's benefiting off of Mark creating these GoFundMes and directing his audience to donate. And the audience is donating to the family, and Mark is going out there and, you know, he gets videos out of this that generate him money as well. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is like the business model of a lot of YouTube channels, right? Mr. Beast. Like it's like the person on the other side benefits through the charity, and the charity is funded through the viewership. It's a cool thing, the unique thing to social media. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's a little bit dishonest to say that there's no incentive for him to be out there to make these videos and then, you know, to sell books with their images in their faces. But that's cool. I think if everyone's consenting to everything and
Yep.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I get what he's saying. I like he is getting something out of it with his books and all that, like he said. Like, so it's not just about him wanting to help this family. Like,
yeah. He did, though. We did say that there was a portion of money going to them from the books as well, like the ones that they signed and all that stuff. So, yeah, like...
Yeah, at least I do feel like he is helping this family. Like, I ain't denying that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's also benefiting.
Yeah.
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 their faces. But that's cool. I think if everyone's consenting to everything and they like the guy, like that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with. I just want us to be honest with, there's a symbiotic relationship at play here.
Well, clearly he's benefiting, but they're also, like, he's helped them more than anyone. I don't think there's any other way they'd get funneled 150 grand over the span of a little over a year.
Well, let's keep walking down the storyline here and identify where the money went. I think that's part of an important lesson from the story and where we can go forward from this. He responds, I respond on the toilet. But I want to emphasize here that the toilet has the best acoustics in any household. Tiny, little to no bounce back off the walls. It's a great place to record audio.
So why the Skyrim?
Bro, you put Skyrim music. Yes, get him, Atozy. Get him.
Little to no bounce back off the walls. It's a great place to record audio.
So why the Skyrim NPC music? Because that's how you responded to Brent Rivera as well.
Yeah, I just, you know, I like the game. I like the sound design. Maybe I should have done it with no audio. I'll be honest. Maybe it makes light of the situation when it shouldn't have been. I don't know. I thought it was a silly touch. We threw it in there.
God.
He's a nerd.
He is a nerd. Bless his heart. Bless his heart.
It almost makes it come across as like a parody.
Yeah, it almost makes my response ironic.
Yeah.
Listen, I made a mistake with the Skyrim music. It is what it is. I'm basically saying, listen, I just posed the questions. I was asking questions. All I did was ask questions. I'm not accusing him. But in reality, it was an emotionally charged reaction on my end. I responded within like 3 or 4 or 5 hours of his video. I do acknowledge, looking back, that it was accusatory through my tone, through the way the words were structured. Even if I wasn't explicit, it was implicitly like I called his honor into question. And then through my tone, I'm also implying there's something shady going down.
Yeah.
I mean, technically something shady was going down, but it wasn't through Mark.
Yeah, I still don't blame him for his tone. I mean, with what he had to work with, it was suspicious.
Yeah, with what he didn't know. I mean, he didn't know everything. So, I mean...
Yeah, I don't blame him for his tone.
Yeah.
And it turns out there was something going down with the money. I think I was just pointing my finger at the wrong direction here. Because the story gets even crazier.
Yeah. You stirred the pot, and then things just got to a crazy boiling point.
Well, I think it flipped over the rock, and I thought there was something very specific under that rock, and it turns out it was something else entirely.
Yeah. So okay, so
Yeah.
just so what happens next, I guess, is what we covered in the intro, where BJ, who my understanding is the daughter of Betty,
Daughter of Larry, from my understanding. But one
daughter
thing,
of Larry, okay, and she called Mark, saying that Larry passed away. I also have a question. Did she call you?
this is a great point. So I am in Jamaica at the time. I get probably 84 phone calls, rough estimate, within a day, every 5 minutes or so.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
god!
What?
She was berating him. Oh my God.
Wow. Imagine how many times she was calling Mark, because she barely knows this guy.
Oh my god!
Wow.
From an unknown phone number. I eventually answer like phone call number 40, and I speak to BJ on the phone. She says, "Hey, I need $150 for some clothes and some groceries for the family." And first of all, I have never spoken to BJ. I never met BJ. I know who she is by proxy of the family, but I didn't meet her down there. I also have been told that there may be some drug problems involved as relates to her. And I'm also skeptical of just sending money to anyone for that matter and setting the precedent for being an ATM that can be used for questionable things. So I answer the phone. I say, "Hey, I'm in Jamaica right now. I'm going to be back tomorrow. We can hop back on the phone tomorrow, figure something out." I fly back to the United States. And also, she calls me like 40 times in between. So this is
Oh
like
my
insane behavior. I just want to
God.
establish.
Yeah.
I'm getting 80 phone calls from anyone is a wild thing.
Could you imagine?
She was definitely tweaking.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
God.
She was
Yeah.
going through withdrawals hard. She needed that. Like,
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh God.
I don't know what's going on. I've never spoken to her before. I don't know how she got my number. I eventually answer. I did send her cash initially. I'm suspicious of what's going on here. I'm hesitant to set the precedent for being an ATM for the family that is in any function beyond getting them a home. The next day, I'm pretty certain I see the video with Mark. That video comes out where he hops on a red-eye flight, apparently, flies to West Virginia and confronts her for using the money for other means.
Yeah.
But what you and your audience and the rest of the world has not seen or heard of what we've been up to behind the scenes the last 30 days. I did my toilet review, my toilet update, and then we've been working on something for the last 30 days I'd like to update you and everyone else on at some point, if we can.
We got to Mark's recent video, which was like a 50-minute long video where he just showed up, and we found out Larry's live and well. And he also, I don't know if you noticed or watched the video, but they also asked about you. And
Yep.
Mark was like,
Watched the whole thing.
I don't know him. I have nothing to do with him.
Yep. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I mean, obviously, here's the only thing I would say is I spoke to Betty or BJ on the phone. I did not give her money. I was suspicious of what was going on, the urgency by which they needed money. None of it made sense. And also, she never mentioned her dad died. That was not the story sold to me. I was told we need money for groceries.
Interesting.
Wow.
Oh.
So she was purposely trying to pull on Mark's heartstrings.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so she pitched me a different concept of why they needed money, which was groceries and food. But I never knew Larry died until I saw Mark's video, which apparently he was not dead. I learned the situation with Larry through Mark's 54-minute video. The day after I uploaded the toilet video, I'm like, all right, I see that Mark has sent the money. There's no money left in the GoFundMes. We're going to get them a house. Let's figure out how to get them a house. So me and my producer, Matthew, we're basically working tirelessly to figure this out. And this is like his full-time project. Let's get them a house. So at first we say, all right, let's collaborate with the sponsor, buy a house. They can move into the house. Boom, done, problem solved. Easy, right? We reach out to tons of sponsors that would want to touch the situation because it got a little messy with the drama and whatnot. But we eventually find a sponsor that is willing to collaborate with us to purchase the home. We speak to the family to figure out if they're down to move into this house or a home in general. The family comes back to us and basically says, hey, we don't want to move. This is where we've grown up in. This is where we grew up as kids. We have neighbors here that protect us. We have some privacy and they have some land. The family owns some land. So think of your grandparents, some old folks who have grown up on a parcel of land. It's tough to uproot these people and move them to an entirely different property. They've become very famous.
Okay, first of all, I would think they wouldn't move them from their property that's probably been in their family a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called put them on the same property with a new house. That's what that is.
Yeah.
That seems simple.
It's understandable they might not want to move, which, it made sense to me. I was like, all right, if they don't want to move, what if we could bring a house to them? So we start researching mobile homes and modular homes. We eventually find a few modular home companies. If you're not familiar with what a modular home is, It's basically like a real life Lego set home you can install into a given location, and they're really nice and they're really cost effective. So we find something for roughly $75,000 plus or minus a few $1,000s. Probably would end up being 80 grand to install this house, and we can install it right next to their property. And we also get this industrial cleaning company, this lady, to agree to help us clean their previous property, their current place they stay in, and then we can put the property right next to it. Boom.
Oh.
Oh,
There you go.
they thought of everything.
They did.
Yeah, that's a great plan.
Well, damn, okay.
So they'd have double the living space, one brand new, and we can throw some IKEA furniture with some of the GoFundMe money, whatever. We get the modular home was the priority though. We found a modular home company in West Virginia that was willing to sell us this modular home for $80,000, give or take. So I paid the deposit. I signed the contract to buy the modular home. 2 weeks or so go by. So this is roughly 15.
Wait a minute. What is
I'm
going
getting
on?
anxious.
I am too. Oh my God. I just
he's about
shifted
to
in my
drop a
chair and
bomb.
everything. I feel like he is. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Are we ready? Buddy system. Buddy system.
I've got my hands over my face, honestly. I don't, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm like gripping my hands. Yeah, like my own hands.
Okay. We can do this. We can do this. We're doing it together. Let's go.
15 days ago, the company comes back to us and says, hey, we can't be a part of this, and we can't really explain why.
What?
So I'm like, okay, that's pretty weird. What's going on here? Or did they just not want to be a part of the situation? They refund me the $500 despite us having signed this contract. They don't want to be a part of it. They're not going to install the home.
Wait, why?
Oh.
And they just said they're not going to explain why. Like, that's just that. What?
Was it because of Mark's video?
Bro.
Oh, or maybe that they saw that they looked up their videos and saw like, oh, these people are on stuff. We don't want our names attached to them.
Oh. Okay. Hold on. Let's go.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
Called them back, asked for a little more details. They're very vague, and they mentioned, not wanting to go out there and work with, the family in such close proximity. And I would imagine there's probably a lot of reasons why they didn't want to be a part of it.
So they knew what it was for, essentially. Did you give them the rundown on this is the Whittakers family and so on?
They have to address and they're like, they're famous amongst West Virginia. It's a lot of people know who these people are when you give them the exact address. And then we had to explain the situation, and they knew who they were. So there's a bit of a reputation.
Oh. Whoa. So there's a reputation with the Whittakers.
Yeah. Yeah, they said they didn't want to work in close proximity to them.
Well, I suppose it might open up doors for them to start berating these guys. Something else. I don't know.
I wonder what their criminal backgrounds might be looking like.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I never really thought about that. Yeah, some of them might be a little dangerous and we don't know it.
Huh.
In the situation, and they knew who they were. So there's a bit of a reputation that precedes the family, the situation, and just, some people, I guess, are not comfortable going there. There's also this whole reputation if you show up, a shotgun wielding neighbor might show up and tell you to get out of here. Basically, everyone knows about the Whittakers in that area.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's not good.
It's crazy. Me and my guy Matthew are like, all right.
Okay, so they're probably known as a crazy mountain family.
Right.
That's probably exactly what they're known for. They're probably known for a crazy mountain family. And you never know. It might have been something that somebody did 3 generations back, and it just, they just get a reputation. Like the whole family gets the reputation, because that's how it works there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, it's easy for somebody to go, oh, that's a Whittaker? Nah, don't talk to him. That's a Jones? Mm-mm. We don't talk to Jones. So, that's true.
Let's go back to square one, see if we can find another company that'll sell us the same model. Because basically these modular home companies are the equivalent of car dealerships. They oftentimes sell the same vehicles and they're just salesmen. And then there's the actual manufacturers that sell the homes. I reach out to the second modular home company. They agree to sell us the exact same model of modular home. It's roughly the exact same price. And we just need to figure out how to get a certain part of the land leveled. So they need to send a contractor out there, basically confirm that the land is viable to install the modular home. So my guy Matthew and I are following up with the company basically every single day, asking for details, asking for if there's anything we can do to expedite this. They send out the contractor. The contractor looks at the property, gives us a quote of $12,000 to make this section of their land.
Okay, first of all, you two, it says 122 when he said 12.
Yeah. Now I can see why our stuff's yellow, dude. Like,
Bro.
closed captions fixed, guys. Come on.
Come on now. He didn't say 122,000. He said 12,000. I'm sorry. I noticed that and I had to say something.
The contractor looks at the property, gives us a quote of $12,000 to make this section of their land viable. Cool, kumbaya, we're ready to buy this house. The $1,000 is already down or paid to them. Everything looks great for the second modular home. We're good to go, but they still haven't given us a contract. The first modular home did give us a contract. We paid the deposit. We signed the contract. They backed out. The second modular home, we put the $1,000 down. They've sent the contractor out. My guys checking in every single day. They send the contractor out. They assert the land is viable. We get the quote. We're ready to pay for everything, cash in hand. We're not financing the place. We want to buy it and give Betty.
Okay, can I say that Tyler has been more proactive about getting a home out there than Mark with his 150K? Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm
feel
really
like
starting to like
dragging it
him.
out. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Mark just dragged it out a whole lot. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
maybe it was for content's sake. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah, that little incentive he's getting.
I mean, now
like you said.
now I will say this. I think Mark was thinking it's their money anyway, and that's why I'm going to give it to them because they want their money. But it was for a house, and Tyler has been more proactive about them getting a house than what Mark was. And Mark had well enough money to do it.
Yes, and the age difference between the two, like Mark and this guy, like this guy's being really responsible with it. I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He even had the wherefore going, I don't want somebody to look at me like an ATM. Because that's what he said to Mark.
Exactly,
Mark was their ATM. Absolutely.
Yep, he knows what this is, and he's trying to actually just help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Betty the title. Like, we're not here to buy it under my name. I wanted to buy the property, give Betty the title. They would install it over the course of like 6 to 8 weeks. And boom, they have a house and they have a newly cleaned property that they already owned. So double the space, it's both clean, and they don't have to move. So they get to stay in their ancestors' land and where they feel comfortable and where they have neighbors that accept them for who they are. Mark uploads this video with BJ. It turns out BJ has gotten a large portion of this GoFundMe money and has been using it for questionable means. Basically, the money has not gone towards the house, as we all suspected and knew. I thought, maybe Mark hadn't sent the money, or he had used it, or maybe he was waiting to send it at some point. Roughly 2 days later or a day later, I'm not sure the exact date, the modular home company comes back to us and says, hey, we don't want to be a part of this drama. We don't want to be in the middle of these two audiences. We're not doing this.
Oh my God, bro.
Wow. Dude. Oh, that's heartbreaking. That's twice now.
Do you know what makes me irritated about this?
What?
If Mark would have done this from the very beginning, they would have a new home because the drama wouldn't have popped off.
Exactly. And look at how easy, like, Tyler is showing that it actually is.
If Mark would have done this from the beginning, Tyler wouldn't have had the question, and then he wouldn't have to shown that the Whittakers took the money like they did, like they were taking it. And then the stuff with BJ, that might have still happened, but there still would have been a home there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The intended purpose would have been fulfilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the irritating part about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So my producer Matthew calls me. He's like, hey, I have bad news. They're not going to sell us the property. I'm like, what do you mean they're not going to sell us the property? What's the mission statement of the company? He's like, to sell affordable housing. We learned on like their mission statement, this company is to sell affordable housing. I'm saying, so I'm at this point a little bit frustrated. Like, why can we not buy this house? It has nothing to do with the drama. At the core of it, agree or disagree with what some of the extended family members have used the money for. Put the money aside. At the core of it, these are old folks who live in a remote area, who don't live in the best living circumstances. Let's put them in better living circumstances. It's not that deep. Clearly, no one can handle that amount of cash being presented to them up front.
Right.
The cash that was presented to them was a recipe for disaster, I think. We saw the downfall of how that money was spent, how that GoFundMe money was spent, that Mark's viewers donated to him with the hope that it would be responsibly used and go towards a home. And then when they learned it wasn't towards a home, everyone, including myself, was trying to figure out where this money went. And it turns out a lot of that went towards funding BJ's, habits.
And her son, apparently, one of her sons as well.
This is what they're saying, right? I don't think
Yeah.
we're gonna get an itemized invoice breakdown of where the
Well, obviously, you're not going to get an itemized breakdown.
No.
I mean, because
Yeah, dealers don't give receipts.
yeah, exactly. They don't. They are street pharmacists, as I like to call them, but they do not
I
give you a
respect 'em.
receipt. You know, okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But I think it was more than just that. I really do. I think it was more than just drugs. I honestly do.
Yeah, and I'm
I'm still
still-
suspecting the gambling.
Exactly what I was gonna say. And like also BJ has the itemized amounts of everything that
She's got the bank statements. Yeah.
yeah. So
money actually went, but that's what we learned through Mark's video, which it adds up. I mean, that makes sense. I too was wondering, where did this money go? What happened to all this? And this explanation, it makes sense. Here's what sucks. The GoFundMe, Mark's audience raised, all the money in there is gone.
Yeah.
They don't have a house. And well, that's about it. They still don't have a house, I guess is my point. So I'm in the position of like, listen, I turned this rock over. It became this whole thing. I don't want to be a part of any drama anymore. I don't have any beef with Mark as a human being. I definitely regret how my tone was and the accusatory nature of how I presented the information to my audience and how I called him out. That was a mistake, and I formally owe him an apology. And I wanted to come here and talk with you because you're a third party. You're not directly involved. You're not emotionally biased here. Here's my proposition.
Okay.
I propose that Mark and I go 50-50 on a modular home. I pay my portion of this directly to the modular home company. He pays his portion directly to the modular home company. I don't need to be there with cameras unless he wants me to be there. I don't want any more videos out of this. I'm not here to milk the situation, but I do feel a level of responsibility to my word and to just human decency to get this thing solved. It's all laid out. I think if Mark is involved, then the company will feel comfortable that they're not in the middle of this feud.
Okay, true. Okay,
yeah.
no, it makes sense because the two that were feuding are coming together. They would be like, okay, it's a happy ending. And it would be, you know what? It would be great for the modular home company because it looks like
would.
they're doing something good. And it's
Right,
like
yeah,
a
it looks like
happy
it-
ending.
It looks like they're bringing them together to be able to make this
Yes!
possible. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Where's the meta PC of the modular home world?
Yeah,
Like, where's the
exactly.
people that
Right.
want to help?
That's what we
Uh-huh.
need. We need the meta PC of the modular home world. That's exactly what we
Yeah.
need. Huh.
I'm not asking for Mark to, forgive how I handled this in his perspective or to think of me as a good person, but here's a solution for us to get this family a home. It's all laid out. I'll go 50-50 on the financing right now. With him involved, there's no concern on the modular homes company of we're in the middle of this because we're together. I
Exactly.
want to extend the olive branch here. We can get this family in their home. We don't have to ask for donations.
This is what you do when you use your brain right here.
Yeah,
This is what
this
brain
guy
power
does have
is.
a good heart.
He does.
Yeah,
He does. Good on him.
I like him. I know. The more I watch of him, the more I'm like, okay, I like this guy.
Yeah.
Donations from the viewers anymore. We fund it ourselves. We go 50-50, buy the house, call it a day. That's what I'd like to propose. And I wanted to bring this up via you and through you because I'll be honest, I shouldn't have been involved in this. I regret being involved in this because it's become an entire shit show. When we went down there, I didn't think it'd become such a fiasco. I thought we'd ask some questions, maybe we'd see a house, maybe we get an answer from Betty. He had good intentions with raising the money for the family because he sent the money. I mean, he showed us the bank statements, he sent the money. But that being said, I don't want to upload more videos on my channel. I'm not trying to milk the situation. Initially, I thought there was an opportunity for us to come together and solve this. But in hindsight, I was accusatory in tone and the way I phrased it all, and I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have said it that way. I think there was an opportunity genuinely for us to actually have probably combined forces and gotten it handled. I don't regret posing the initial question because out of that question, we learned a lot.
Yeah, I don't think he had a problem. I don't have a problem with him proposing that because I mean it's true. How was he supposed to know?
Right.
Yeah.
All you see is a total there. You don't see what was sent out,
Yeah.
We learned we got updates from the GoFundMe, which Mark didn't update the audience with. We got updates on how the money was spent. The only concern these companies have are being in the middle of a drama feud, which is what it has become. I've experienced it on my end. I've gotten, tens of thousands of death threats and go jump off a cliff, whatever. Think of it. I've gotten it from his audience. He's gotten, where's the money from my audience? Where's the money? Did you send the money? Are you a scammer? We've both gotten this feedback from each other's audiences. I think at the end of the day, we both want to help the family. Cameras in or cameras out.
That's what it seems like to me. Like, it seems like both of you guys had good intentions going into this.
Yeah,
I agree. I think both did have good intentions, but if Mark would have just done this from the beginning, like what he was trying to do with the modular homes, if Mark would have just done that from the beginning. But again, I understand what Mark was thinking by giving them the money. He was thinking it was their money anyway. All right. Yeah. But it's just,
that's not what it was intended for. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's
what you and Eva were saying the whole time.
Yeah, it's kind of deceitful no matter how you look at it, because the people that donated it didn't donate it for BJ's addiction.
True.
Yeah, I just feel like that Mark handled it irresponsibly. Like he needed to put a little bit more time and thought into how it was going to play out, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all, really.
Well, I mean, Tyler definitely did the thinking. I mean, good on him, right?
But that's what makes me... I still look at Mark kind of weird, because I'm like, okay, at this guy's age, and he's not dumb. Like, you can tell he's a very smart man. How did he not know that that wasn't a good idea? Like, I still just...
Yeah.
I still feel some kind of way about him. I can't help it.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I do agree.
I think it's an unfortunate case of, I thought there was something going on. I showed up at the source herself, you know, Betty. I asked Betty what was going on. I don't know if she fully understood the situation or not, but what she told me led me to believe a very specific thing of there's something shady going down here. You know, Mark clarified that through his video, and then it turns out the money was squandered.
Yeah. And then also, like, because Mark was saying in his video that they kept calling about, like, a car broke down or stuff like that. And now in his most recent video, you saw they would go to the lengths of faking the death of her father. So, like, how did the car actually break down? What was this money actually being used for? And because that brings everything into question.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just unfortunate because it ended up being, I guess, Mark and his audience kind of getting scammed. And as I stated in the start of this video, I also reached out to Mark, but he declined to jump onto an interview. His response to me was, Arling, drama like the garbage Tyler started makes me want to quit social media. I want no part of this circus he created. As for the Whittakers, I've learned in the past few days that I can't trust any of the Whittakers now. Giving them money or help of any kind seems like rewarding bad behavior. I'm moving on. Tyler wanted to start some trouble. Now he can deal with the same problem I had. Good luck. So I guess the Whittakers turned into a dystopian game of hot potato.
Wow.
See, that's why I feel the way I do about him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh, dude. That makes me so disappointed in Mark, to be honest.
I'm
but then you also kind of understand.
I understand it. I mean, okay, not on Tyler's end. I think, well, especially after this video. I think, and this was obviously before, that email was obviously before this video with Tyler. But as far as the family go, I can't blame Mark for not
that
touch
part
them with a 10-foot pole.
But
I don't blame him.
Him saying Tyler was just trying to start some trouble, like, no, he was just really looking for some answers.
He was asking questions, and people were already asking questions, and they're allowed to ask questions. Especially the people that donated were allowed to ask questions.
Yep.
And they should have been told, you know?
Yeah.
Between two influencers, and unfortunately, they kind of played themselves, as they had two massive creators trying to help them, but they misled, they lied to, and they used both of them. Also, I do have to admit, I thought I was going to argue with Tyler going into this call, because I thought he was going to have the same demeanor as in his first and second video. But he was pretty straightforward about apologizing and just wanting to move the situation forward in the best way possible. And I guess that is really all he can do as of now. Tyler did provide me with receipts of him putting down a deposit to buy multiple modular homes with his own money. But unfortunately, as he stated, every company he tried to buy one from ended up refunding him and pulling out of the whole situation. Here's the receipts of that I'm since.
I find it crazy that those modular home places, their excuse was they didn't want to get in the middle of the drama.
Yeah, I suppose they were looking from a sponsorship type of way as well, because that's what he was asking for, was like a sponsorship.
Not from the mobile home company. They found a sponsorship.
It was probably because they didn't want to help one side, like how he said, you know, later maybe we can come together and they'll work with us. They were probably thinking, oh, we don't want to take this Tyler guy side, and then this Mark guy be coming at us and talking about us like we're horrible.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Damn.
answering the names and companies since clearly they wanted to stay out of this. And he also sent me a 38-minute phone call with him and one of the companies, and it was essentially like Tyler walking out on Shark Tank and trying to pitch the company on why they should sell him a house after all, with a little plot twist that the company can't hang up on him because that is apparently bad customer support. So the phone call just goes in circles for 38 minutes. So I think I'm just gonna spare all of our time here, but TLDR, the company is worried about the potential negative PR and the safety of their workers, which I guess is fair. Tyler also shared an email with me confirming that he apologized directly to Mark and not just here on my YouTube channel. But I left the call with him in hopes of being able to talk to Mark as well, and maybe even getting both of them on a call together, but sadly that did not work out. Tyler announced that he's going to give the funds raised in his GoFundMe in home repairs rather than buying them a modular home, as no company will allow him to buy a home. And I guess that is the best option because clearly the Whittakers can't be trusted with large sums of money.
True. So, okay,
Yeah.
he's going to get the home fixed. Okay. I mean, that's better than nothing.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's
that's
the next
fair.
best option.
And he's
so-
not handing them the money, so,
Yep. And they don't have to move.
yep.
So yeah, kind
Exactly.
of win-win all around.
Overall, the whole situation is just extremely chaotic and had a bunch of sad plot twists. So that's all I have for right now, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Nice.
That was great.
Peace. Yeah, no, that was good. And so apparently Tyler apologized to him in email too.
Yeah, it was a long-winded one as well. I wonder if he just looked at it and went, "Nah, not reading all that."
I
Yeah,
mean, maybe. I've done that
'cause it-
before.
like, he's got that sort of dismissive attitude already about this dude. So
Yeah. Mark's just got some kind of arrogance that I don't jive with. I don't-
yeah,
Same.
it's arrogance. It's arrogance, definitely.
Same. He's
Eh,
I don't know. It's crazy.
Frustrating.
I
Yeah.
although I will say I don't blame him for not wanting to work with Whittakers anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame him for that part. I would have been done too.
Yeah.
No, that's about it. I mean, anything else about this video or I mean, at least he's doing home repairs. He's going to do the home
Yeah.
repairs. So that's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll get somebody in there to clean it up and
Yeah. I'm sure that's definitely part of the home repairs. I mean, they have stuff piled up the walls. That's a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think the whole house is a fire hazard at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess take us out, Eba.
All right, and that was Investigating Tyler Oliveira and the Whittakers by Atozy. If you liked this video, please, you can do a couple of things. Like the actual video, maybe you can subscribe, share it to like your mum or your grandma or anyone else that you feel like would like to watch this sort of thing. You can comment below. Maybe what else could they do? Maybe what do you think Mark will do next? Will he create another video in response to this? Will there be something, maybe they might come together? I don't know. Let us know what you think. And yeah, I think that's it. So say goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Can our video go green, please? Come on.
Jeez.
Good God.
Silly gooses.
Silly gooses. Make me
See, we're
mad.
Edward Scissor. I wanted to say something else.
Yeah, but we're not because we're ladies.